Hey, get you some a little pickup this morning from the Pooh Bear. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Hi, welcome. I'm Tracy. This is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Cove. Come have some coffee, y'all. Come have a little coffee with me. I'm eating some eggs. I'm eating a little bit of the, this is good. Heat it up, y'all, and it is like a crunch fest. Oh my gosh, so good. But I can't eat all that one time because I'm having some scrambled eggs. Y'all, that's my veranda blend. So, hey guys, what's going on? I got some updates. So I've started my new medicine. Now there's Adderall, there's Ritalin. So we're going the Ritalin way because Adderall, according to my new psychiatric nurse practitioner, who I think is a good match for me. Thank you. I'm so grateful. You want to talk about starting your day with a grateful heart, y'all? I feel like no matter what is going to go on, I'm not out there alone. There's ideas. He understands medicine. You know, as we get to know each other, he'll, you know, it'll just be a good thing. And one of the things he said to me, are you manic? And Beverly and I were talking about it, and I'm not manic, but those medicines, you know, again, there's some component was missing that literally, you know, helps me focus better. But you know, like she said, your cadence of your speech is back to normal. You're not like, you know, you don't feel like you're talking to someone on speed. So I can't tell you what a nightmare this has been. And I'm so glad I feel like I'm on the other side of it. And I feel so sorry and so heartsick for people who go through this and don't ever get resolution. Man, it's even worse than I let you guys know, really. And I let you know it was pretty bad. So, but I'm thankful to be on this side of it. You know, you start with a low dose. Yesterday was my first day of doing the full dosage I'm going to take until we up it. Because, you know, you always start drugs right slow just to make sure. I think heart palpitations are the big thing, and I didn't have any of that. So, I am optimistically hopeful. And, you know, one of the weird things with this last batch, which was different than the other batch I got that was so terrible, let's say we take it at 7 in the morning. By 10, I had to like close my eyes and rest my head for a little bit. That's crazy. Have not had any of that here. I don't feel wildly high and I don't feel low. So it's nice. I have not, well, last night I didn't sleep as well, but that could be because I had some cheese and crackers at 9:30. So, but yeah, so yeah. And what's interesting is I went to my ENT because my senses, taste and smell, I think I've mentioned that, are off. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I'm thinking, is that, like, I never tested positive for COVID, but he said to me, I love this guy. He's very funny, Sorensen, and he sort of like gets me, like, I think we're a little like, and he said, you've been exposed because you probably just were asymptomatic, because at this point it's really hard not to have some kind of exposure. You just probably weren't asymptomatic. You know, you just probably didn't know it. Or you had a great, you know, I have a high threshold for suffering, which is changing, y'all, which is scary, but yeah. So, but I have a sinus infection and I have stuff going on in the back of my throat. And he said, that's probably why you're going in and out of taste and smell. And I think I'm just sort of used to it again, and used to, like, I don't know. You get used to things, right? That's what's so weird. You know, you put a frog in hot water. Like, if I woke up today and felt like this and I hadn't felt like that for months, I might be like, oh my God, I'm sick. I don't feel good. But, you know, you put a frog in cold water, slowly turn up the heat. And I think we do that to ourselves sometimes. You just like, oh, well, it's okay. I don't feel great. But so I'm really working hard at doing everything that my insurance will allow me to do. But like, having said that, see, I hate that. I hate the throat clearing. I am going to go today and get my medicine. I am starting a dose of antibiotics And then in 2 weeks, I email him to let him know how I am. And then I'm also starting steroids, which I don't know. I know there's people who hate steroids, and you know, they do definitely disrupt you, and they're strange. Like, but y'all, my focus is coming back. I'm gonna have for 10 days insane. Well, really, it lasts longer than that. I have an insane amount of energy, and I'm gonna harness it. I'm gonna harness it, y'all. I really am, and I will rest. I will force myself to rest, but I am gonna get this first floor, y'all, done. Get my studio much better than it is now. So I'm excited about that. I want to use it to my benefit. Now, anyone who's taken steroids knows they make you hungrier than, it is wild. And you know, that is a trigger for me, right? I used to feel hungry all the time, and never, like, you could be eating and I'd be thinking about food, because this is a chemical imbalance that my ghrelin was off. And boy, y'all, the minute they can find a drug, they probably already do and don't want to give it because they make too much money off people trying to lose weight. But so I have a plan of attack. My friend Beverly she's sick and it's Thanksgiving. I won't probably get soup until after Thanksgiving. She'll make turkey soup, but she's the best soup maker I've ever met. She makes the best soups. Like, last night I tried to save off the cheese and crackers, and I had like a half cup of her, it's some kind of vegetable soup. It was so good, but anyway. So I'm going to keep chia seed pudding, because that stuff fills you up, y'all. See, I should have come home and had that pudding last night, because I ate early in the day, and at dinner I was too busy talking and didn't really eat. So that's not, I got to be a little better about that. But we have a new person. Shout out to Betty. I like her a lot. She's someone I grew up with, kind of feeling, you know. She's older than I am, not much, but yeah. So we were talking and carrying on. I like her a lot. So, you know, that's people over food, right? And like my dad said, I'll never have a hot meal as long as I live. Oh yes, that's the truest thing I've ever experienced. Even right now, my eggs are cold because I'm talking to y'all. So he couldn't even, my dad would be like, oh God, of course you're on YouTube. You know, yeah, of course. Anyway, so I'm going to be very aware. I'm going to write down everything. I'm going to try to be as in the moment as I can. And also, one of the things I want to get today is the miso ginger broth. Y'all, you know, it's one of those that comes like vegetable broth or chicken broth, like in that square carton. That stuff is so tasty. Plain. Have a warm cup of that when I come home and it's cold. Filling. Sodium, I can only do so much. I'm not gonna worry about sodium. I don't hardly salt anything, but I do eat processed food, y'all, so I know that. And I'm not being that good at drinking all y'all do that? Like my hydration's not where it should be. And I'm gonna have all this medicine, and I've got, you know, the anti-antibiotic, the probiotics, the good ones. So I'll start that today. So I'm gonna do everything I can, but I'm gonna try to pound water. It's hard in the winter, right? But I don't know why. I've got to get on some kind of schedule. Like, you know, we're on the desk, off the desk. So maybe when I get off the desk, I need to take a 5-minute break and be like, okay, let's have some water. Let's plot out our next hour. And then maybe before I go on the desk, give myself 5 minutes and have water then too. So I've got to come up with a plan, a rhythm that I can get into. So yeah, so that's what's happening. I'm feeling better. So, you know, I know this is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, but he said that, you know, they put that thing down your nose. But he said that, I didn't quite understand it, but he's like, we're not going to jump up and down, but there's a little, like, something he could open up that would probably help. But he said it's not a big deal. Okay. So that's a thought, because I'd rather not take antibiotics. I haven't taken, like he said, you haven't been here in 2 years, you know, I mean, we're not all wound up. So, but that doesn't mean I haven't had it in those 2 years. I just, you know, it didn't bother me, I guess. So or I wasn't aware of it. But that's what's happening. So that should be an interesting couple of weeks. But yeah, but you know that I'm gonna harness that steroid energy. And no matter how I feel when I get home at night, I'm gonna have a cup either of chia seed pudding or broth or something that's gonna satisfy me. But part of the problem is I came home, for those of you who watch true crime, and I don't talk about it because, you know, one is, you know, some people don't like it, and that's not what my channel's about. But there is a one called Surviving the Survivor. There's a bunch of lawyers I like. He's not a lawyer, but I think it's so fascinating to learn about the law and different things, and really interesting, smart people, which is nice. But there's a big murder case where this family, I mean, you can't make this up. Where the mother-in-law did not like the son-in-law and wouldn't let the children move down to southern Florida, and then she was always bad-mouthing him to the kids, and the kids would tell the dad, and so he was starting a procedure for her to only have supervised visits. And so what do you do, right? How do you handle that? Well, apparently you hire a hitman and kill him. I mean, this is crazy. And this was like it's a conspiracy, like, right? And it's the mom. They're wealthy. Like, I guess I haven't really followed it. I don't really follow court cases as they're happening unless it's something that really grabs me. I just follow the aftermath to hear what went on. Grizzly True Crime. She's one of my favorite people to listen to. She's so interesting person, and the lawyer, you know. So those are the three I kind of check in with, but yeah, so the mom, so what they figured out is the son, I forget his name now, he just was found guilty. He'll spend the rest of his life in jail. And these people thought they're really smart. You're not, I'm so sorry. You are not smarter than the police. Not in 2020. Well, this was 9 years ago this happened, right? 9 years. And they've literally poisoned these poor children against, like, the grandparents of the parents of this man that was murdered. Don't get to see him. And it's really, they even changed their last name from his last name to their family's last name. It's just a mess. So basically this mother, the grandma, wanted these children to raise them. And apparently her daughter was fine with that. So these are bad people, right? And they had every advantage in the world. But what is interesting, and they own like a dental firm or something, and he had a Ferrari. I mean, like, who cares? So, yeah. So anyway, he was found guilty, and he was really obnoxious on the stand and thought he knew everything and was smarter than everyone in the room. That, you know what? I know I am not. Sometimes I'm the smartest one in the room, but normally I know I'm not. But anyway, there's something about true crime. I don't know what, like, I can't read books that are suspenseful because writers try to get you whipped up and emotional in it, right? Or a movie. I mean, that's the goal, is they want you on that roller coaster, and I'm not getting on that. But there's something about these that, you know, I find fascinating. So anyway, I'm trying not to watch it at night. But so this guy was found guilty. And oh my God, I was watching a panel about what prison is going to be like for him, you guys. And this guy, Joel, who runs Surviving the Survivor, his mother was a survivor. And so they have a really close relationship, a very Jewish mother and kid relationship. He's funny. He's a little younger than I am, but he cracks me up. But he talks about how just thinking about going to prison, he has to have like Pepto-Bismol. I don't know. I just really like him. He gets really good guests. And but I don't get on the chats, and you know, I don't do all that stuff. I just find it interesting to look at. So but if you guys want to see someone really strange, I mean, it is fascinating out there kind of people. I mean, it's the beauty of YouTube, right? Crime Circus. This guy's name is Drip Drop. And he wears makeup. It's one of the creepiest things, but he just cracks me up. It's like this kid that, you know, it's a miracle. This kid's making a good living talking about crime. But you know, what's interesting is they do a lot of work getting documents and stuff like that. Anyway, he's like, I don't know. He's got, I want to say 300,000 followers. I'm not sure. But he has all these sound effects and stuff, and he cracks me up. I don't know. He'd been like some kid in school that wasn't popular that I felt like, you know, I would it was really truly interesting, but people didn't know what to do with him. Like, you know, I love people like that. But anyway, you guys, drip drop. But he's kind of smart, you know. There's a Patreon thing. So basically you and I'm going to check into all this, but Patreon, you would do something special, right? So, and there's different tiers, right? I have to really understand it all before I would commit to something. But let's say I could do a Patreon live, right? Where we all could interact at the same time. So you'd have to think of content. But anyway, so he's made it free. You know, you can do $1. I think you can do up to a lot, right? And each tier maybe gets something else. I've seen artists do this where you get things in the mail. I don't know right now, y'all. But January, I'm going to start really working on my channel and learning and doing fun stuff. So that is I feel like I'll be a little bit more settled then. I want to learn. I love it. I love it. I want to have some bells and whistles, but not today. But anyway, this crime circus, y'all, he is, I don't know. I find people like that just interesting, and he's making the money, and good for him. Like really good for him. And there's this other guy, JLR Investigates, and he's another one. He's a little bit can be less likable, but again, he reminds me of some nerdy guy at school that didn't have a lot of friends. But he went to prison, and I don't remember, probably drug related, I don't remember. I don't deep dive them, but he's very goofy. I'm surprised he doesn't have more. I think he'll end up having more followers, right? But he's on all this. The whole life is this. But what's interesting about him is he goes to the scene. Like when that guy was loose from Pennsylvania, he was there at different sites, and it was interesting. And he said it was really scary, and I believe him. It was really scary. But anyway, he's really goofy, and he's one of the guys that he'll heckle people. Like, why did you do it? That kind of thing. Because he believes that, but my point is they're not found guilty yet. So really, I don't know. But I don't watch him all the time, but he's interesting. And, I'd like to support YouTubers. And the other guy is the lawyer, Peter Tragos. Holy crap, this man is attractive. He's Greek. He has long hair, beautiful eyes, super intelligent. And when I was following him, because I found him from another channel, JB Menudo is the newscaster on social media for WFLA. I can't remember how I found him. I love him. I just love him. Like, we've texted a few times. He's just really a neat guy. He just had a baby. But I just love this kid. But the lawyer, is on there a lot. So then I start following him. And what's interesting, he breaks it down legally. He's he's a civil defense lawyer, right? So he breaks it down legally and explains things. And, there's always an interesting chat. And he like yesterday, he was a little upset, I felt like. Someone had criticized him about, I don't remember now, like being biased, or I don't know, something like that. And he talked about it, and I thought, interesting. But, he's not on, but his main goal as somebody who practices law to a jury, has cases in front of a jury, and like, all these people are jury people, right? These are people who could be on a jury. So he loves understanding their questions, what they're thinking, that kind of thing. So it's helping him as a lawyer. But y'all, he's taken off. He's almost at 300,000 followers. And he has all kinds of memberships and merch, and people love this guy. Well, not only is he insanely attractive, but he's super articulate, very fair. And he also advertises, like, I think they practice his team in law in like 30 states. So if there's like, that kind of accident, unfair, that kind of stuff, he works on that. So, right now, he is raking in the money, but I like him. But I'm not like on these memberships, or I am on Grizzly True Crime's Patreon because I really like her. I think she's amazing. And the way she presents everything, y'all, this is hard work. So she'll do things like go on a nature walk and take you with her if you're a Patreon, stuff like that. So And that might be interesting. That might be something. Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so anyway, so the whole point of this, what was the point? Yeah, the point was that I've been at night because this woman she was in the back to the Adelsons or something. Dan Markel, it was a man they murdered. Can you imagine? And apparently the people was like the guy that just got, I can't think of his name. He's just going to jail. His girlfriend, apparently he had many girlfriends. Okay, who cares? And he asked her, do you know anyone who can eliminate someone? And she did. And these people were not smart, y'all. They were not smart people. You just, you know what I mean? Good Lord almighty, stupid. So they've been talking about, is the mother going to be arrested, right? Not his sister, who's the mother of the children, but their mother. And because they feel like she was a mastermind. And they have tapes of them talking. They're trying to be in code. They're not smart, y'all. They're not smart. And, you know, like somebody asked the lawyer, why do people say stuff when they know they're being recorded in jail? It's because you forget. But so they've been wondering, they feel like she was going to be indicted and arrested. Well, I don't know what night it was, but he popped on and she'd been arrested at the airport. But he had two pretty good confirmations. He was really nervous. He's like, oh my God, you know, I'm nervous. But he goes, I feel like this is right. And he's interesting because he's like, news is dead. Like regular news is true because this is like this. And then they can say things, right? And then you can have people interact. It's just, I don't know. I would never watch the regular news. So and they didn't know all the details. They got a third confirmation, so he felt comfortable. And then they got a arrest report and a mugshot and all that. But apparently the story, they didn't know, rumors where she was coming back from Italy, or they didn't know, right? And her husband, they think, is complicit, but they don't know they have enough on the husband. And the daughter would be next, right? If they have enough, but there's all kinds of complications. You learn so much, right? So much. So turns out, this is how stupid people are. They bought a one-way ticket to Vietnam. Apparently Vietnam is really a nightmare to get people back, right? I would not want to be in a Vietnamese jail where they're trying to figure that out. They bought one-way tickets. Why would you not buy round-trip tickets? They're insanely wealthy. That looks so bad. So yeah, we're just going to go over there and have, you know, whatever, do yoga and come back. Really stupid. But I guess when you're desperate, y'all. And Joel gets all upset, like, he's so funny. Like, he's like, I could not survive in jail. But this is so interesting. He has different people on the panel. I hope y'all are interested in this. I'm sorry. I'm just obsessed. So he has this one lawyer, Tim Jansen, who's a Tallahassee defense attorney, criminal. He's interesting. I really like, he reminds me of people I grew up with, the fathers I grew up with. Nothing like my father, but a little bit, you know, a little bit smooth guy, like the hair, you know. But he had a woman on, and her job is to help people who are going to jail, to prison, right? And she's actually helping one of the shooters. And what's so interesting is it's some gang right down in Florida. I can't remember the name of the gang, but this whole guy who went, Charlie, I think his name is, who was the brother who was arrested, just got off trial, was claiming that he was being extorted, that they went and shot him, that he didn't ask him to, but then they extorted him out of money saying they would say he did it. It's nuts. Anyway, but she's such an interesting, I mean, that's a job. She's so interesting. And she said, this guy, you know, gangs are not portrayed, not the way they're necessarily portrayed on TV, right? Like, these are, you know, a lot of people have no parental support, hungry, you know, and when, yeah, I guess that's, you know, the bad part of it. But also it becomes a family. They take care of each other in this way. And it was really interesting. But she talked about how this guy has literally always put everyone first and can't say no. And you know, it's also a class thing. Like, here are these very wealthy Jewish people, South Miami, living in, you know, beautiful apartment in Miami, hiring, you know, ethnic people, like Latinos, to murder the, you know what I mean? So it's interesting. But, yeah, so it's just, you learn so much. And, it's just fascinating. And the guy that got murdered was a law professor at FSU. And the lawyer, you know, went to FSU. A lot of people come on there are lawyers who've taken classes from him. So it's just, I don't know. I find it fascinating. The other thing I'm like obsessed with, and I check in every day, is her name's Caitlin Armstrong. It's in Austin, Texas. And this again, it's just a mental defect to people. I don't get it. Like, her boyfriend, who really comes off as like a player, had met, he's a professional bicyclist, and he met this girl, really, she's like 24, 25, where they're like in like 35. And I guess this couple were, you know, on again, off again, and, you know, just a kind of relationship you wouldn't want to be in. But he had a fling with this woman named Mo, right? This young girl who's apparently going to be she's the best in the world at what she does right now, kind of gravel stuff. I don't know. I don't really follow anything but the Tour de France. But beautiful smile, just at you know, ready to take on the world. It's just too much. But apparently this woman's just nuts. And she had access to all his, like, she was his manager. I don't know. There's just a lot of red flags that went on that he ignored. But basically, they had hung out and they were just friends. Now, he was trying to help her with her career and get sponsorships, stuff like that. Mentor her, I guess. And they spent the day, like, she'd gone on a bike ride. They'd gone for a swim. They had a hamburger, and he dropped her off. Like, that simple. Like, no text showing anything else was going on. But meanwhile, she's staying with a friend. The friend comes home, and here she is dead. Shot. And they have that captured. It's just too much. And it's interesting, one, how a detective, not knowing anything, like, who did this, right? Like, and she's not from there. But it's interesting how they start to figure out a case. Anyway, this woman, this girlfriend, and he had bought them guns like a couple years ago, and she was proficient in this gun, had the gun in the house. So they had taken her in on some technicality, like she hadn't paid for a Botox bill or something, but then they decided they couldn't keep her. She leaves. She goes and sells her car, her Jeep, for $12,000. The Jeep, which was shown in the area, goes to New York, gets on it, and she's a yoga instructor and like that kind of healer, that kind of thing. Surveillance of her at the airport carrying her yoga mat, hopping on a flight to Costa Rica, which is eventually where they found her. But it was wild that she had like face surgery, like her nose and a couple things done. So when you look at her compared to what she looked like, oh my God, it's amazingly different. So when that boyfriend was on the stand, and he's a piece of work, he's like, I don't know her. You know, I mean, you could look and think, I don't know, who the hell is this woman? But his point was he obviously didn't know her. Well, you know, obviously, but he's a jerk. And he was his whole life, he's lost sponsors. It's a mess. So, but as he was leaving, he like pushed a photographer's camera. Luckily, he didn't hit the ground. And then he stomped on his foot. I mean, really, on camera. What? I mean, I get it, like, but how stupid are you? But she was traveling. So she was traveling her sister's passport. Why don't you go to Mexico and like figure out how to get into the country another way? I mean, it's just weird. And of course, they started looking. They knew she was in Costa Rica, so the marshals started looking for like resort towns, because she was known to hop on a plane and do all this, and but look at resort towns that might have, you know, yoga and that kind of thing. And they found her in a town. She was bartering. She was doing yoga for room and board. They arrested her, brought her back, and then like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, apparently she did yoga and worked out in her cell, and she claimed she had an injury, so they took her to the doctor, and she tried to escape with like leg shackles and these crazy large striped pants, just like dumb, really dumb. So yeah, But the lawyer for her is unbelievably just crazy. Sometimes I watch Nancy Grace. She's super funny. I don't know. I love her. She's just something. You know, it's all theatrics, right? Anyway, but she's funny. She's like, huh? Yeah. Anyway, my whole point of this was I should not be watching it at night. But I got whipped up in these like fast acting things. So there's not going to be much new. So I'm going to lay off for the week. But yeah, and you know, you guys, my one of my friends, Judy, had told me about Roku, you know, and my cable bill. You know, it's hard not to wish you'd done something earlier, but it's good to think, okay, what can I do now that I'm putting off, right? I mean, that's the lesson. You can't go back and redo all that, but I got Roku, and so I don't have the cable part of it anymore. But I'm going to call them because I'm not sure about the security. It's not working the way I like. So I got to check into that. But, so the Roku, and she's like, it's so easy. You're going to be fine. Oh my God. Because mostly I watch YouTube, right? And there's some things on PBS I like. And, but right now I have tons of movies to watch. So, but I have one on, so I got one for the living room and they're under $50. And I got one that was like, I don't know, like 21. But the remote in my bedroom would not turn off the TV, and that was a problem. So I took that one down to my studio, and it works fine, and got a better one with the remote. All this, like, way under $100. And what was good, though, is I actually took that one from there, put it down, did this one. I followed through and finished. So that, you know, I'm trying to be a finisher, y'all. Trying to be a finisher. So that's what's going on. So I think I am... why did I want to run in Trader Joe's? I cannot remember, y'all. But, oh yeah, there's little things. Because today's Wednesday. Yes. Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow. And that place is going to go nuts. And I don't want to go anywhere near it. That's why. So I'm just going to run in there real quick. And, yeah. Maybe grab another bag of my good salad. But yeah. Yeah, it's time. And that's why I want to get up tomorrow. And I have a couple things to return to Walmart and 2 Amazon things to drop off at Kohl's. And there's a couple from the Dollar Tree, you know, have you seen they have them? They're like dish soap pans. And I love the size and the width. But what I want to do is I want to get like 5 of them. And I'm going to put my projects in them. So, yeah, I would have like, yeah. Put like a book, and as I find things, throw it in there, and I can just grab that, and they'll stack on each other. So I think I need like 5. So I want to run in that real quick, and then go into Kohl's drop off in Walmart. I've got a couple things to return, and they have a different kind of, okay, it's a peppermint ice cream. I love it, and it's only around this time of year, which I don't understand. It's good. Peppermint deserves to be all year, right? Like pumpkin deserves to be all year, but... So Walmart has really good prices on ice cream. It's amazing, but there's like 3 different companies that have peppermint ice cream. Now they don't have the Haagen-Dazs peppermint bark, and I will be purchasing that when I see it. They haven't gotten it yet at my store, my Giant, but there's like 3 different ones. I want to run in. I want to grab those 2. So, and do like, I'm going to try to get a hold of Mark and Sue and make a date, and we could do a peppermint ice cream taste test. So yeah, but yeah, they have really good prices. And right now, according to their app, they have these in stock. So peppermint's like pumpkin. You got to get it early or it's just going to go away. But that's what I want to do. And then, you know, like I need some Kraft cheese, just a couple of little things. I don't need a lot. And am I going to look at the mugs? On Walmart.com, I hate it, y'all. It's crazy. I get that they want third people to sell things and that in a way it's a service to the customers. I think that's fine. But y'all have a line and say, okay, from now on you're leaving Walmart.com and you're entering, because I found a mug and I'm looking at it. Their mugs are usually $3.98, maybe $4.98. They had these mugs, $12, $13, $15. And then I'm looking, I need some pepperoncinis. And I put out my card, I'm like, it's like $30 or something. Like, I'm from New York City. I'm like, what is happening? So I really hate that. And none of their cute mugs are showing. It's just all these expensive mugs that I'm not doing that. So anyway, I'm going to peek at that. Either they're there or they're not. And I'd like a Christmas tree and a deer. So we'll see. But yeah. And then I'm going to come back, y'all. And I'm going to, oh, I got to go by CVS. That's what I got to do. So the assistant to the doctor said, you know what? Set your alarm and take the steroids at 5 o'clock. Huh? So he goes, yeah, because, you know, they're going to keep you up if you do them much later. Okay. So I'm going to set my alarm for 5. I'm going to take these steroids and hopefully get up and get going, right? You know, I'm a morning person, and then hopefully I'll be drop dead tired at night. But don't know if I can take my Ritalin that early. So this is, y'all, this is a thing. This is a thing. You know, setting alarms, but I'm usually pretty good at it, so because it's important. Are you one of those people where you get medication and you don't take it, or you don't take it as described? Y'all, I've always been very respectful of medicine and take it the way it is. And like, I had a friend, she ran out of something and she was having brain like twitches. I said, you know what? Call your doctor. Call your doctor. It's crazy. You know, some of these drugs need to be weaned off. Y'all, look at the light. Like a little zebra. But yeah, and we're going to start doing some art. I got to figure the art thing out, right? Because, yeah, I'll just have to be spending more time downstairs, which is away from the kitchen, which will keep Claire from just really bugging me about food. So yeah, so Claire needs to lose like 2 pounds. I want to lose 5. So we'll see how all this goes. Even a little, but if I get peppermint ice cream and share it with Mark and Sue, right? Then I don't have it like sitting in my house. I should probably get it and just like literally bring it to their house. Okay, guys, I'm going to go get ready. I'll finish up some breakfast, get ready, but y'all, probably like, let's say you have people over Thanksgiving morning, you know, you need a little something. This is a carré. Am I saying that right? Carré. What is a carré? Is it a croissant in a bread pan? I don't know. It's good, y'all. All right. And my secret project, weather willing, will be done tomorrow. I think I'm going to do just enough if the weather's not exactly how I want it to be. But yeah, because I need to declare it finished. And Kenny's friend Caesar, who came to help me do light stuff, I needed light bulbs changed, and there's a tweak in a battery, you know, on this alarm. I can't have that. So he changed the batteries where they needed to be changed, and the light bulbs didn't need changing. He goes, it's the socket. So he got it adjusted, but we're gonna, I've always hated them. They're like gold. And so he's going to look around, and when he finds a good deal, he said sometimes they're contractor deals, then he'll get them, he'll show them to me, and then he'll change them all, which would be nice, because I don't like when light bulbs don't work. I feel like something electric's not right. And, you know, I'm going to have someone in my house. I want that part to be safe. But it's nice to have somebody who, yeah, he's a nice person and is very helpful. And, you know, because Kenny's so busy. So that's nice. A little miracle right there, y'all. But, okay, you take care. Tomorrow I'm going to do my best to take you with me. A day in the life of, we'll start at 5 o'clock. You guys, yeah. I'm going to do my best to get no TV tonight, no food. Just get home, have some water, hang out, play with my cat, and head up to the bedroom. So that seems like the most, yeah, get this, because I don't want this to be a disaster. And we all know antibiotics, steroids can lead to all kinds of troubles. So, all right, guys, you take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.